Now we have all our scenes set up, everything's labeled, and we have a stop on the intro. We're going to pretend that I already typed in all of my information. So on the intro scene, you'll probably see an animation of your characters, you'll probably see maybe a backstory, you're trying to save the galaxy, click on these things, avoid clicking on these things, just some kind of story that kind of draws in the viewer. At this point, we're going to create a button. We'll think of it as your start button. Once you read all the information, you're ready to start the game, you got to click on start button. It'll take you to level 1. To do that, we're going to cheat a little bit, and we're going to go to Window, and if you go to Common Libraries, you will find one called Buttons. And in that Buttons Common Library, you will find Buttons Classic. You may have to scroll through a little bit. There it is, Classic Buttons. And if I open up that book, you'll find that there are some arcade buttons in here. So I'm just going to take one, I'm going to take a green one, and I'm going to drag it over. And then I can close out that window. And I have a pre-made button, and if you double click on it, you'll notice that there's up, over, which looks the same as up, and then on the down state, you'll see the button goes down a little bit. You can even add some text in here if you want to, but we'll get to that later. So at this point, I have a button. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on that button, and I'm going to do the ActionScript window. At this point, you should not see any actions in here whatsoever. It should be nice and clean. And I'm going to double click the word on, press. So when I click on this button, I want it to do something. And we're going to do this, underscore root. So underscore, which is shift minus, root, dot, and then we're going to put in go to, G-O, and you'll see go to and play pops up, but we actually want go to and stop. And you'll see here in the yellow, it asks me what frame we want. Well, we're way back in the beginning, we frame labeled everything, and so this one's going to be called quote LVL1, end quote, close bracket. So when we click on the button, it should take us to level 1. Now the reason why we had to put the root in front is because the frame that we're looking for is not on the current timeline. It's actually another scene. So we have to tell it to go look for it in another scene, and that's what underscore root means. It means pretty much go and look for. So if I hit Command Return, and I click on the button, it should take me to level 1, and we can start our game. Okay, so I need you to do the same thing. You can design your own button. Remember, you can draw some kind of object and then hit F8 and convert it to a button, or you can go to the Windows and you can find the classic buttons. Again, they are underneath. If you go to Common Library, Buttons, there's a whole bunch in here, but down towards the bottom, you'll find Button Classic. And then you can start your game, Classic Buttons. And then you can start. Okay, good luck.